Morning, everyone. Welcome back to the backyard at Blasnaheron. My name is Malachy O'Connor. I'm a consultant in the food industry. I've worked for lots of different retailers. And this morning, I have the pleasure of talking to lots of different retailers. So our panel this morning, to my left, I've got Anthony Wilson from Fortnum & Mason. I've got Barra McFeely from Tesco Ireland and Adam Breen from Holland & Barrett in Ireland. And as we get kicked off, what I'll do is I'll ask the guys to give a quick introduction, and we'll have time at the end for questions as well from the audience. So, Anthony.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Anthony Wilson. I look after the commercial strategy and planning at Fortnum's. Fortnum & Mason, I guess I'll start with the history of what we do. So we're the oldest department store in the UK. So we've been at our home and our flagship on Piccadilly for 318 years. We're one of 7 businesses to have 2 royal warrants, still to this day, so that's good. We currently have 6 stores, so we have 5 in the UK and 1 in Hong Kong. And we're mainly food and drink, but we also do homeware, we do beauty. So yeah, that's kind of Fortnum's.
So as the UK's oldest department store, would that be the world's oldest department store?
I don't think so. And we're always scared to make claims like that. So
it's okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's on live. So we're definitely one of the oldest. So yeah, we're not the oldest retailer. So there's one in Kent that's been around since the 1400s. So
Wow. Okay. Amazing. Thank you for that, Anthony. Well, we've got loads more questions for you, but thanks for that quick introduction. Barra.
Yep, good morning all. I'm Barra McFeely of Tesco Ireland, and I'm Tesco's supplier development manager, and it's my role to meet new suppliers, help them present their case to our buyers, put the best foot forward and try and secure listings with Tesco, and then with existing suppliers to grow their business, not only in Tesco Ireland but also in Tesco Group. We have 185 stores in the Republic of Ireland. We've over 60 in the north, over 5,000 across Great Britain, and 700 stores in Central Europe. So there is a big opportunity within Tesco. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Barra. And Adam.
Yes.
Quick intro.
I thought Holland & Barrett were old, and then you. So my name's Adam Breen. I'm the category manager for food and active nutrition in Holland & Barrett. And yeah, this is my 3rd year here, which is a bit crazy. But my main role, and why I was hired 3 years ago, I guess, was to talk to suppliers like yourselves and make Holland & Barrett a bit more local, rather than just a vitamin company. Bring in the food that has the correct USPs to suit our business, food with benefits, but we'll get into that a bit further later. So yeah, happy to be here.
Cool. Thanks for that now. So actually, we'll stay with you, Adam. I'd love to get like a business update from you.
Yeah.
Because I know you've been on this panel. This is your 3rd year now. But give us an update in terms of how many stores you've got, Ireland, UK. What's the kind of scale of the business? What's going on in the business? What are the kind of strategic priorities right now?
Thankfully, I was at a conference there on Tuesday that told me all this, so I know. It's really, really exciting at the minute. So our year just started, so Happy New Year. We had a really positive year, our 4th year of double-digit growth. Ireland leading the way in that, which is super impressive. Next year it's an even bigger target, but the investments that our owners are investing into the business is phenomenal. Going into this next year, there's a £40 million investment into the business between new own brand product, new stores, multiple other things that smarter people know about that I don't. And then what we're also doing from a local side is we've seen massive cross-category shopping from the Irish brands, bringing in the customers to then shop in food, but then it's also, we can also see the metric of they're crossing into sports, they're crossing into vits, and they're crossing into beauty. So what we're doing here is we've seen the commercial benefit. So for us, it's like, let's go a bit harder. So we will be bringing in a lot more product. Since I've started, we've brought in 180 SKUs. I think we're around 26 new suppliers, and there'll be a few more after this weekend, I'm happy to say. And yeah, from a store perspective, we're up to 70 now in ROI, 22 up north. We're opening a new store in the next month on Dawson Street in Dublin, which we're really excited about. The UK, they're up to around 820 stores at the minute. But we've also pushed into international, China, Saudi Arabia, India. And then obviously Benelux is a massive part of our business as well. So
Under the Holland & Barrett name, yeah?
everything's under the Holland & Barrett name. We just announced our new CEO, Anthony Harrington. So super excited about that. And yeah, a lot of change has come through, a lot of tech change as well. We've made all that in-house. So we're planning for the future to still be here, because it's a hard time to be a retailer now at the minute, I guess.
Tough, it's never easy. How many stores do you have in that Benelux region then?
I can't quote that. It's around 100. It's around 100, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You mentioned expanding the range, bringing in, was it 150 or 160?
We currently have 180. So
Irish SKUs, yeah.
Irish SKUs.
Out of how many would you have in a store? Like,
well, including vitamins, because there's a lot of them. We've around 4,000 depending.
3,000 or 4,000 SKUs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3,000 or 4,000.
That's a sizable chunk, though.
Yeah, like
almost 200 SKUs. Yeah.
Within the food category, where majority of the SKUs, I believe we have around 88 local SKUs to sit in that. It works out to be around 6% of total sales, which is quite impressive, because we weren't expecting it to be that. We were happy with around 4.
And from your data, you can see that those SKUs are kind of punching above their weight, because they're a key that's unlocking,
Exactly.
bringing in new customers who then spread out into the other categories. Then, yeah.
And then there's still so much opportunity to get the SKUs online. We're still working towards, and then our online business is now 19% of our total business, that's only over the last year. So that's a massive opportunity that we haven't unlocked yet, due to systems being our best friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still so much opportunity left for us just within Ireland.
Yeah.
Never mind the UK, but yeah.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Really exciting stuff. Thanks for that update. Barra, what's the latest in Tesco, and Tesco Ireland and Tesco generally? What's happening?
Yeah.
Strategic priorities, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, in Ireland, Tesco has opened quite a few stores over the last 3 years and continues to do so. So that's driving more sales for our suppliers and increasing our reach to the customers. The business is performing well. There's good volume growth in the business at the moment, organic growth. But obviously that's driven by population growth in Ireland, and all retailers in theory will benefit from that. But what I see for suppliers is that their rate of sale, the number of units they sell in the store, is increasing, because I think there's just more people shopping. So that's a positive development. Internet shopping continues to be a big part of what Tesco does in Ireland. We have the largest share in that part of the market still, and it accounts for low single-digit part of our sales. So we're well positioned to take advantage of that as that grows over the year. Irish suppliers continue to be very important to us. We have over 500 Irish suppliers. What is interesting is 100 of those would be direct-to-store suppliers going to maybe 4 or 5 local stores. So, you know, at face value, when you look at Tesco, you think, oh my God, I have to go to a depot and loads of stores, and it's all very daunting. But the reality is there is the option to go locally, and it is quite straightforward. You just rock up to your local store and put the product in. But that all does have to be planned and agreed.
But actually, who do they agree it with? Would you rock up to the store and say, "Here's"?
Oh well, no. What you would do is you would rock up to me first, have a chat.
That's an important detail.
Yeah. We get it agreed, get you set up, and once you're set up, then you can rock up to the store.
Yeah. That's only one more step, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another trend internally is we focused more on premium products. We've created additional space on the side of our chilled fridges and freezers. At the end, you'll see these narrow racks, and in there we're positioning Premium products, and last year from Bloss we brought in a handful of products, and they performed very well, and some of those have migrated into the main fixture. So,
And for anybody who can't visualise what Barra's talking about there, if you can imagine walking through a fruit and veg section in Tesco, in that refrigerated area, on the stuff at the end, on those end units, you'll have maybe something left and right.
in the corners,
So if you've got salad leaves in there, you might have a dressing over here, yeah?
that's right, that's part of it. And then down on the main aisles as well, there is these sections too. So
So it could be like seasonings and sauces
Precisely.
adjacent to the meat or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And has that worked?
it has, yeah, and it's kind of opened our eyes really to the opportunity there is for premium products. There is definitely a market for that. So that was really encouraging for artisan suppliers.
So into the next year or two, we can expect more store openings?
Yes, more store openings.
And are they kind of medium supermarkets or express stores, or what's the...
Yeah, there's quite a few express, but there's a few larger supermarkets opening as well. There's one going to open in Howth, and recently we opened down in Fermoy. So there's a lot happening. And I'll give you an example there. We opened a third store in Cavan there. It was the Virginia Super Value store. And we met some of the local suppliers in Cavan. We brought them into the Virginia store as direct to store suppliers, and then we've rolled them out to the other stores in Cavan. So now we're showing up much better for Cavan suppliers. They're absolutely thrilled with that. And
and that's exactly what you did when Joyce's came into the Tesco group then?
Yes, when Joyce came in, we took in 30 local suppliers and serving those stores in Galway. And that was a positive experience for everyone. The customers got to continue to buy their favourite local products. And from the supplier's perspective, actually, the footfall went up in those stores. So they actually saw an increase in sales. So it was a real win-win
really good.
for all stakeholders.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks for that, Barra. Anthony, what's going on in Fortnum & Mason? What are your strategic priorities now?
Yeah, so online's really strong for us, which is great. So actually we're putting a lot of money and investment into our stores. So I said we have 6 stores. We just opened one of those this week, actually, in Bicester Village.
In where?
Bicester Village in Oxfordshire. So we're also looking at doing pop-ups in travel destinations. So we have a store at T5 already at Heathrow. We've done a pop-up there at T4. We're looking at Gatwick as we speak as well. So yeah, it's really about store experience for us. We're investing heavily in our flagship. So we're putting in a brand new staircase to aid flow. As I said, we've been in that store for 318 years. So it's pretty difficult to get people upstairs. So we're adding a double helix staircase, which will get revealed just before Christmas. We're investing in the food hall, so that's big for us. 90% of what we actually stock at Fortnum's is under own label, and actually comes from the UK and Ireland. So 90% of that. But what we're actually looking to do is expand on proprietary. So I'll touch on this when we talk about how you can get into Fortnum's, but we did an open call this year for the first time ever for food, so for suppliers to come and pitch to us. So we did that, and we're also looking at collaborations more and more. So working with other brands, chefs, that sort of thing.
And did you have like a pitching event? Was there a day set aside or 2 days, or what did that look like?
A whole week.
Oh yeah, wow, okay.
We had 300 people apply. We got down to 10 winners. So
all right, okay, so there was an element of competition.
Yeah, competition in it. So, and I'll touch on that when we talk about how to get in touch with us. But and that's why I'm kind of here. So when we got down to the 10 winners, we had 2 from Wales, 1 from Scotland, and the rest from England. So unfortunately, we didn't have any Irish suppliers. So
Did you have Irish within the 300 though, yeah?
In the 300, but it was our lowest percentage. So that's why I'm here. So hopefully some of you can apply next year.
Well, given that then, so if possibly there's lower awareness of Fortnum & Mason. And I'll never forget Fortnum & Mason for the Chocolate Society night when I tasted mushrooms in dark cocoa powder. Amazing. But for anybody else, give them some kind of a guide on what's the What's the thrust of the business like?
So yeah, as I said, it's 90% of what we do is under our own label. It's mainly food and drink, so tea. We're really well known for tea. We've been importing tea for around 250 years. Only Twinings kind of beat us to that.
Yeah.
Biscuits is our second biggest category as well. So our Toffalossus and Lossus range have kind of become famous for us. They're double chocolate layered biscuits. You definitely all need to try them. They're incredible. Honeys, preserves. We have the largest collection of marmalade in the country as well. Honey's like something that's really important to us. We were the first people in London to put hives on our roof. So we had, so we now have 6 hives in iconic locations as well. So on top of Piccadilly, the Royal Albert Hall, Somerset House in London. So yeah.
You're producing honey in central London,
Correct.
and you're selling it in jars.
Yeah, we do a harvest once a year, and then what we do is we auction off the first jar and then give that to charity. So yeah.
So it's the epitome of speciality then.
Speciality food. We have a fresh food hall as well, so we do takeaway and lunchtime offering as well. So we kind of cover all bases from ambient to fresh.
Yeah, and how many products would you have in your range?
Thousands. We have 4,000 SKUs in wine. So
okay,
that tells you everything.
right, yeah.
So yes, our wine team love buying product. But yeah, within our own range in biscuits, we've probably got about 200. We've got, like I said, marmalades and preserves. We've probably got another 300. So yeah, you're talking 5,000 to 6,000 in ambient as well. So
Okay, it's an experience.
It's an experience. If you haven't been, you definitely need to come.
Very good. Thank you for that. So, okay, so we've done our introductions. We've got a business update. I'd love to know about what you've observed in terms of emerging trends over the last couple of years, and maybe the ones to watch into the future. I'll come to you first, Adam.
Yeah, off the bat, right away, it's now going into fibre. You're seeing all the prebiotic sodas popping up everywhere now. A few of them here. I actually got a good stat at our conference on Tuesday, and it was that 84% of people in UK and I do not have enough fibre in their diet, and it will kind of get to the stage that where protein is at, anything protein is on, no matter what the other ingredients are in it, it'll sell. But fibre will get to that because it's just so important for the diet. And I think probably more niche trends is more so brain health. I say niche, it's still super, super important for longevity.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, okay, so if we're talking about gut health,
Yes.
I can imagine probiotics, which are the natural bacteria that
Yeah.
live in your gut and
help
provide balance.
help keep it clean.
And the prebiotics are the fibre that helps the probiotics to have a happy life. Is that
Action,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
The action, correct.
But I can't visualize brain health. What's that?
Again, smarter people than me came up with the products, but we do have new products like own brand products that are completely scientific based. I wouldn't be able to even.
What are there supplements? There capsules
it's a
with
drink.
amino acids?
Drinks.
Or what are they? Oh, drinks.
Drinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What goes into them? I don't know. I just know they are coming. We got a teaser of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be
That's one to watch then. Yeah. Brain
it's
health.
definitely one to watch because we're just trying to make people live long. People are living longer, but they're not necessarily living healthy longer lives.
Okay. So thrive for longer then. Yeah.
Thrive for longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting stuff. Okay. Thanks for that. But Barra, what are you seeing emerging, and what would be kind of ones to watch for the next few years?
Yeah, we're seeing health and premium. I think people are becoming more conscious of their own health and longevity, and understanding the relationship between what they eat and what they do and the quality of their lives. So that's a macro trend that I think is going to continue. And in terms of trends, it's a funny one. You know, sometimes there might be a fad. Somebody might post something on TikTok, and the product of some unusual product like tin fish or whatever might go up tenfold overnight. But that's not a long-term trend. What you really want to be looking for are those long-term trends, because that creates the opportunity to get in. And I mean, a good way to understand the trends, I mean, we're all working in particular categories, and we're obsessed with it, of course. So when you're out and about doing your shopping or whatever, just be looking at the fixture you're in, and you're seeing new products beginning to come in and they're staying. Well, now you're observing the trends, and they're real trends because you see it in the fixture. So always important to do that. Then also
and the other point is that we're all shoppers as well. Like we all eat at least 3 times a day, so we're much more tuned into trends maybe than we think we are. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Because you can look online and you can see all kinds of trends, but which trends are sticking, which are actually being realised at the shelf edge, and the answer to that is at the shelf edge. You will actually see that at the shelf edge.
Yeah.
And then the other thing about trends, so too often. Something might be on trend, and then next thing there's 20 people all trying to produce it at once, and that in itself is challenging too. That the trick, obviously, if you are going after trend, is find a trend that's going to work that everyone isn't on yet, which obviously is difficult, but that is where the opportunity sits. And then, apart from trends, let's not forget about what's not on trend, because probably 90% of what we sell is not on trend. It's staples. So don't forget about them too. And if you come in with a slightly different twist on that, you could have a very successful business.
Yeah. So the kind of products that go in nearly everyone's trolley nearly every week then, yeah?
Yeah. That's where the volume sits, obviously. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's really worth remembering, especially for artisan suppliers. To not be a niche within a niche. It'll have some kind of volume you can go after. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Especially, I suppose, if you think of if you look at a category, you say that's fairly stale now. I haven't seen anything new in there in quite a while.
Yeah,
and that might just prompt an opportunity.
Well, one of the things I've picked up over the last year, talking to buyers, retailers, is this just insatiable appetite for innovation and newness. Because my take on it is that there's been maybe 5 years of crisis management. From pandemic into war, inflation crisis, worried about tariffs, prices going sky high, and all of that crisis management kept everybody in that mode. And now there's an appetite for innovation. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, rightly or wrongly, it's in buyers' DNA and it's in their KPI. They have a range change. And they don't want to turn around to their bosses and say, well, I'm changing nothing. Everything's going to be the same. There's almost a need for innovation, a want for it, regardless of whether it's required or not. Yeah. They want it. So that's
especially if you're a new buyer.
Yeah. So that's almost to the point, if there's a category that's fairly stagnant and you're bringing innovation to it, you might have success.
So for me now, one of the key things there, and it sounds so obvious, is to be in store. So what my observation working in buying departments over the years is that the buyers don't get it out to their own stores enough, or the competitors, or internationally. They depend on suppliers to tell them what's going on. But actually then if you're a supplier and an artisan particularly, spinning all those plates, doing all the things within your business, you probably don't get out to stores either as much. And there's just so many benefits to actually just standing at the fixture and observing shoppers for half an hour once a week. Yeah, you'll pick up so much.
And a key point there is, if you are an artisan producer or you're thinking of becoming one, bring your product to the store. Now, ask for the store manager's permission first, but put it in the fixture and stand back and say, does it sit here? Look at the price point of all the products around it. Does it marry in? Is it at home here from a price point perspective? I once had a little cheese business now back 30 years ago, and I used to go to my local Quinsworth store at the time with trial cheese. And I used to put them in the fixture, and I'd stand back with a clipboard and a white coat for 2 or 3 hours and count the number of people that picked up my product. And of course, one day a customer picked it up and tried bringing it through the till. I had to run after them. But that was a nice problem to have. And that just gave me some kind of sense of how my product fitted in. And then if you see people pick it up, well then you know what, there is some hope for this. So when you do go to speak to the buyer, then you can have an informed conversation. I think my product should sit in this fixture, and show a photograph of it sitting in the fixture.
And you haven't spent €10,000 on market research. You've just done the legwork and got in store and made the observations yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
Super. Anthony, what trends are you seeing emerging? What would you watch for in the next few years?
Well, provenance. People are getting really hyper-local, I would say, to that point. But yeah, provenance. People are spending more with us. And when you get to a higher price point, people want to know where everything comes from. I think lots of categories have done that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But actually looking at confectionery, people are really keen on where chocolate's coming from now.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a sustainable market, where packaging comes from even, to the point of what we have a lot of our product in tin, so where does the tin come from? So yeah, I think provenance and the story behind every single product, as soon as you get to a certain price point, it's really important.
Yeah.
And that's a massive trend for us, so we're currently switching a lot of things over.
Into more sustainable.
More sustainable. We've been out of palm oil for a long time. We don't use any single-use plastic either. So yeah, I would say definitely looking at sustainable and provenance is going to be a huge trend for the luxury market.
Yeah, okay. And within that luxury market then, is it the case that you're immune to some of the other trends that are going on in society because you're the luxury market, or do you get a bit of everything?
We get a bit of everything, but because we kind of lead ourselves, we kind of do our own thing. We try to stay ahead of trends. I don't really like the word trend anyway, because they come and go, as you said. It can be a trend one day, and then the next day it's something completely different. So I think if you base your business around trends, you'll either be there for a very short amount of time, or you'll make a lot of money, and then you'll be out. So yeah, we try do our own thing a little bit.
So you'd nearly prefer a supplier to come to you and say, nobody else is doing this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We love exclusivity as well.
Yeah.
Being Fortnum's, pretty much everything we do is either exclusive or, like I said, 90% is under our own brand. So, yeah, it's our own recipes. We'll work with suppliers and producers to make our own recipes. So, yeah.
Yeah, very good, very good. So, for everybody who's here and everybody who's watching the live stream or the recording afterwards, any points of advice in terms of how to make contact and maybe the top 2 or 3 things you're looking for with a new supplier?
Yeah, so to contact us, we obviously, like most businesses, have an email that you can email to contact the buyers. We were actually just having a chat about that. I know not many of us actually replied to them emails. So as I mentioned, so what I did say, though, is if you do email us, continue to email us. I know it might seem like pestering to you guys, but just keep going. Because it might not be the right time. It might fall into someone's inbox. You're one of 1,000 people getting in touch, so definitely keep knocking on the door. As I mentioned, we then knew this was happening, so that's why we opened up the open call. So we put a whole dedicated team on that. It went out nationwide, so people could apply. We then sifted through them applicants and then invited a shortlisted amount of people to come and pitch to us personally. And then, we got to 10 out of 300. So, we're hoping to go bigger next year.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point, because there's very few retailers that are actively trading that don't have some format of event or initiative. You have your 300 call. Barra is front and centre sourcing suppliers for Tesco. Adam, you're the face for Ireland sourcing for Holland and Barrett. Aldi and Lidl have their Grow and Kickstart programs. SuperValue has the Academy. So there is a point of entry for any supplier there, really. And then the other thing is you can just go guerrilla style and send a message to somebody on LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And one of the things I would say is don't take it personally if they don't respond, because it might be the wrong time. If you send an email in June, they may be completely focused on the Christmas launch.
Yeah.
Because that's how far in advance they work, and they'll be utterly absorbed in that, and they won't even look at your email until September. So don't take it personally. You're not stalking them if you send them 6 emails. It's not.
Yeah.
If it's 600, then you're stalking them.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with Malachy is saying there. If you send the mail again, it's the top of the inbox, and it might have been missed earlier on. People tend not to go back and trawl through all the old emails, so weren't ready to read the ones that come in. That's only a human nature. I mean, I'm in the fortunate position that Tesco's created the resource in myself to be there to help suppliers on their inbound journey. But I just know from having worked in the trade that the amount of emails coming in is very large. It's humanly impossible at times to get to every single one. So if your mail isn't replied to, don't take that personally, or someone thinks your business proposition isn't great. Just probably never got a chance to open the email. So persistence pays in this way, and also Sometimes if you see the mail coming in, I'm speaking in general now, not personally, that does send a message that there is a determination here, because by God, to succeed in the food business, you do need determination. So that is very good evidence of that. And that will certainly...
Persistence pays.
Persistence pays, and it sends the message, you're here to stay, you got what it takes to drive a business forward.
Yeah.
But that's the message that you want to land. So generally, if you would like to reach out to myself, it's bara.mcfeely at tesco.com. And what I really enjoy doing is meeting suppliers in one of our stores and literally ask the supplier, where do you think your product would sit? And we might go through 3 or 4 different parts of the store to see conceivably where the product might sit, and then we work out what is the best pitch to the buyer, and then we'll bring the proposition to the buyer. And I'm pleased to say we're increasingly having traction there, because I have some insight as to what the buyer might be looking for, so I know what is the best story to tell to pique the interest of the buyer.
You're acting as an ally for the supplier then, yeah?
I was accused last week of being the sales director of a company. I was presenting, and I said, well, that means I'm doing a good job, because I see myself as the supplier's ambassador.
Yeah.
So I am, for everyone in the room, I'm your sales director when it comes to Tesco.
And you're not taking a cut.
And I'm not taking a cut.
Entirely for the shopper. Yeah.
Yes.
Adam, what would you say to suppliers trying to make contact?
Yeah, I think just reach out. I find LinkedIn is super helpful to just get it's the fastest way I'll get to it now. You do end up with a lot of LinkedIn messages.
Yeah.
Because emails get lost. Like after taking 2 days off, I'll go into work on Monday and have 200 emails.
Only 200?
I know. It's quiet. Christmas is quiet for us. It's January. But yeah, just reach out. Again, I'm kind of like Barra. I'll fight for the local supplier. Like I don't necessarily put all the charges that we might put on UK suppliers on local Irish suppliers in terms of promoting your brand, doing tastings in stores. I am there to fight for suppliers as soon as you get in, but to get in, just if the product isn't suitable, don't take it personally. I'll give you an example. Hydration, for example, is a big trend at the minute. I must have tried 40 hydration brands at this stage, and there was a local one, and I was just like, it's just too salty. And I've got the sampling and all done with others, and that company in particular is still going at me, and I've said no. So it is to know when Holland & Barrett might be the right partner, and it's to just understand that there is a stage where you do have to just say, okay, where do I pivot to now, rather than.
Or what can I learn from the buyer?
Exactly,
The buyer's feeding back to me.
I try to give as much.
Salty, or the packaging's wrong, or what?
Constructive criticism is super important, and we have to do it because we only have so much space on shelf.
And the thing is that you're seeing 40 suppliers coming to you with their pitch, so you're in that actually fantastic position of being able to see what's right and what's wrong, and
you give
what customers respond to.
We've seen this works really, really well. Have you tried it?
Yeah.
But again, some people, their product is their baby, 100%, and it's to change their baby is quite a hard thing to do.
Or one feature of the
exactly,
really,
But
listen though,
Well, eventually.
Okay. Do we take some questions?
Hi, Maria from Roller Pastry. I just curious. The Sophie Morris effect, I think everyone is aware of in terms of customers looking at ingredients and kind of lover or hater, because I know a lot of people have strong opinions on what she's doing. But are the retailers looking at it at all in terms of ingredients lists and things like that she's kind of highlighting ingredients and what's on the back of pack and what people are saying about products, and they're not really kind of coming through with their sort of it's all very marketing based, and some of those these a lot of the protein products and things like that. Are the retailers looking at that or paying any attention, or are they just keeping their heads down?
Like for Holland Barrett, for example, our due diligence is very, very strict, as Felix knows. We have to stand, because we make so many health claims, we have to stand by what's on shelf. So for us, we don't look at it because we're doing it. Have we seen some benefits in terms of sales? Yeah, but it can't be easy on suppliers either, because it helps us, but we don't look at it because we're already doing it.
Barra, what about the Sophie Morris effect for you? For your benefit, Sophie Morris is an Irish nutritionist, influencer, really popular on Instagram and stuff like that, and she calls out where she thinks something is
Yeah. Okay.
stretching the boundaries. Yeah.
Social media commentary on influencing, it's great. It's great for suppliers. It's great for retailers. Customers in particular. It's getting the benefits of products out there in the public domain. Customers are reacting to it, coming in to buy the product. It's really, really great. We've had a few products come in from some people in this tent, and artisan products, and Sophie Morris or whoever might go online and say this product is now available, it's really, really good, and the sales can go up fourfold overnight. And that's that's only a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's helping promote great Irish products, which is what we're all here to do. Fundamentally, I think we're all on the same page. We're all trying to do the same thing, and it's great to have people out there, drawing attention to it and driving the sales of the products. It doesn't, drive our decision making. We just evaluate products based on the product. And it's quite funny, getting back to the email conversation, I actually did happen to be going over old emails there about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I saw an email from a supplier that I hadn't picked up on. And they opened it, and they were looking for a meeting, and I said, my God, yes, let's go and meet. So we met just over a week ago. And I think it's going to have a good outcome. The buyer's interested with a meeting with the buyer now next week. And I said, I just happened to see your email there. I was looking for something else and I found your email, and apologies for the delay. And she said, oh, I thought it was because such and such an influencer did a post on my product. And I said, well, no, I never saw the post. The world is not driven by social influencers yet anyhow. So I thought that was...
You were just busy. Yeah, good enough. Well, any other questions?
Hey, how's it going? Question for you all, really. It's the key word that keeps us all here today, margins. Adam, this one's coming for you. How do you negotiate a good margin in terms of, this is going to be the first answer that you give, which is like, yeah, we all know how to negotiate good margin, but like, what actually works in terms of a supplier? Like, what extra can a supplier like myself do that makes a drink beyond just drink? Oh yeah, Keith from All About Kombucha.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that question though. So, what are you asking?
I'm asking how to negotiate for a better margin. Like, what can you do other than...
For you or for them?
For me.
Okay. Talk to me about that. Don't talk to a buyer about how to give you a better margin.
Well, like, it's in the negotiation process.
Yeah.
And they sit down and you're talking to someone and they're just like, well, that's going to be an X margin. You're just like...
I think on this, you're right, but it comes down to the bottom line at the end of the year and what is the actual margin. So let's, for argument's sake, agree on a 30% margin. No, which is way lower. If we can get funded promotions beyond that throughout the year, so let's say we're doing a 3 for 2 at a 33% margin, and let's say a 2 for 1, so 25%, and you fund that, but we want to go a bit deeper, and you fund that bit. So you don't have the costs all the way throughout the year, But within those promotional periods, we can build it into a joint business plan that you're actually going to promote slightly over what we're going to be selling it for. And that, again, it's just at the end of the year, how do your books look in terms of your costs? And, well, for myself, it's have I hit my KPIs? And obviously, being over thousands of SKUs, you will have some that are higher and you will have some that are lower. So generally with like local ranges especially, margin will be slightly lower because obviously the cost to produce is so high. And we understand that as a business. But yeah, from a margin perspective, it has to work for both parties, or, well, what's the point? Because at the end of the day, as important as products are, none of us are here if it's not commercially viable. So it's as you say, it's a negotiation. We both have to win, but we also both probably have to lose in some aspects. I'll let you think that though.
All right, what would you say about margin?
I think from a food producer's perspective, the most important margin is your margin. You need to make money. You need to know what your cost price is. And I mean, I would urge you to kind of get an understanding of your rate of sale, whether you're in a local store down the road or whatever, and you see, okay, I'm selling 5 units per store per week. Okay, where do I hope to get? Or I hope to get into Dunn's, Tesco, Super Value, whatever. So that's 600 stores. We get to 600 stores that buy 5 units a week. That's 3,000. And if I'm on that margin internally, do I have a living? Do I have a sustainable business? And that's kind of the starting point. There's no use dropping the price to chase volume if the volume isn't in the market. So you kind of need to know where is all this going, what's sustainable and workable for you, and you just worry about that. And there's other people worry about their margin. And don't be the only margin you should be thinking about is your margin. Obviously, you should maybe have an idea where you're pitching it in terms of the what your RRP is, but outside of that, just focusing on your own margin would be my advice.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I agree.
Focus on getting paid the best cost price that you possibly can for your product. The retail, you can recommend a retail, but it's kind of down to the retailer what they charge for it, and that will define their margin, the difference between the cost price and the retail price. Other things though will influence it though, and don't forget about this. Like if you make a tweak to your product, extend the shelf life, improve the packaging, and the waste falls from 10% to 1%, then that's an extra 9% of profit that goes into the retailer, purely on waste, nothing to do with cost or retail. And it's just a more efficient way of doing business. Also then, if you're thinking about margin, don't just think about it in percentage terms, think about it in cash terms. And that means you have to think about volume and is the product available, because there's no point having a product which in their books, in their spreadsheet, it delivers a high percentage margin if it's not available. There's no point. And then the last thing I would say, going back to what Adam mentioned earlier on, which is that these Irish products bring customers in. So the margin that you make on those Irish products isn't reflected just at a product level. It's in the key that they're a key that is unlocking greater margin, greater profit, because there's another 5 products that are going into that basket with that shopper. So your product could be a key that's unlocking a much bigger transaction value or transaction margin as well. So just try and think creatively about that, but you have to focus on your profitability because they're not.
Malachi's after costing me 3 percentage points of margin there.
Yeah.
And that's only a taster if you try it.
We finished there, yeah? Yep. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well done.